What up? It's your boy T-Burn Reaction. Today's Films Friday. Now it's time for the main course, the meat and potatoes of Films Friday, the dead meat kill count. So before I go there, I just forgot I should bring up the poll. Real quick. I didn't do that. So we recently had. I'm gonna get it up. Come on now. We recently had my latest kill count poll for what should be the next kill count. So, the choices was, when we get to it, shout out to the creator, the choices was, come on, choices was Day of the Dead, Bay of Blood, Midsommar, Alive, and Mayhem, with most of the majority of 66% votes. The classic Day of the Dead will be the kill count. Now, Midsommar is saved, but since it's a three-way tie as who's getting eliminated, I will make a elimination poll of which one. I'll make a third poll between the three of which I react to. Out of the three, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put Mayhem and Alive together, and Bay of Blood on its own, and then since I think we're up to 5. I think we're at the 5 now. Since that, I'm gonna do my next kill count. Midsommar will get an automatic bypass, and so folks will be happy about that. So somebody can be happy that will be the official next one, unless something else comes up. And these three. And in these three that didn't make it, which is Bay of Blood, Alive, Mayhem, along with the other ones that I eliminated in the past, which is Host, Pieces, and I forgot what the other one most recent one. And Prowler will be a choice out of them, and they'll be the elimination polls of which one will be the next kill count out of the elimination polls. After Midsommar and after whatever kill count I'll do. So other than that, here we are with Day of the Dead. This is like the third of the George Romero series of the Dead series, and I actually saw a body count or a carnage count of this, and this was graphic as fuck though. So I would love to see the explicit version of it because it's graphic as fuck. Because 80s is the year of gore, but I respect a dead meat. I won't do that, and I don't want to get myself nor dead meat in trouble as well too. So, without further ado, here's Day of the Dead kill count, which came out in 1985. Let's get it.
Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at Day of the Dead. But don't break out the sugar skulls. I mean the 1985 George A. Romero zombie flick. By this point in the zombie apocalypse of this series, humans have become the minority, and in many cases, can't be found at all. Day follows a completely isolated group of survivors consisting of scientists and the soldiers assigned to protect them. These divergent groups have natural tension and lend themselves to a lot of ideological debate. And I mean a lot. While Romero inserted plenty of commentary in Dawn, in Day, the dialogue becomes an entry-level philosophy class discussion. The first half especially has a lot of scenes that are mostly just arguments, but the thoughts being explored are interesting, even if the acting isn't always up to snuff. In my younger days, I thought this movie was boring, especially compared to the zany romp-around of Dawn. Whereas Dawn had constant movement and action, Day is much more pensive and occasionally pontificacious affair. Many critics and contemporary audience members felt the same way, and Day of the Dead suffered from these comparisons to its predecessor. But as an adult, I've grown to respect the movie's somber tone. It's not meant to be as fun as Dawn. By this point, things are too desperate for all that. Nowadays, I'm grateful that Romero didn't just make the same movie again. And thankfully, since its release, Day has gotten more of the appreciation it deserves. Day of the Dead was released 7 years after Dawn, which was successful enough to immediately ensure a third of the Dead installment. First though, Romero wanted to make a couple of other films. The horror anthology Creep Show, which I'd love to look at sometime, and a movie about a Renaissance fair on motorcycles? What? I'll have to check that out.
Riders.
These films were part of a deal with United Film Distribution Company, who originally offered Romero a $7 million budget for Day. But the lackluster performance of Night Riders and Romero's insistence on releasing Day unrated caused the budget to be cut by more than half. And with only $3 million at his disposal, Romero had to drastically downsize his original script.
Damn.
It was just bigger. It was bigger. I had boats.
Yeah, it was Raiders of the Lost Ark. Was
Oh, he's on.
Romero
Oh,
was fine with
Tom's
the
on-
revisions
Tom
because
was
it
on
allowed
this.
him to retain creative
Sex-
control and
sex
release the film
machine.
unrated to make the most of his makeup team, which not only saw the return.
I keep forgetting Sex Machine. Did he play Sex Machine? Is a makeup artist though, mostly though. Because first you know who I'm talking about. He's from Ducks and Dawn. I keep forgetting that. I'm getting my thing freezing for one. Anyway, in case you didn't see while I was freezing, I keep forgetting that. Did he play Sex Machine when Ducks and Dawn is a makeup artist in real life? I keep forgetting that.
Of Tom Savini, but also
Tom
the start
Savini,
of
yep.
a few artists who would become special effects legends. Together, they gave us the goriest depiction of zombies yet. Festering, nasty, and constantly hungry, always looking for another meal behind the next door. Of course, we as people get hungry too, and since we can't just eat whatever human flesh is around, it helps to have services like HelloFresh. HelloFresh
Yes. Me and my wife been doing HelloFresh for a couple weeks.
delivers meal
for
kits
some
directly
months
to your
almost.
door and makes choosing dinner a simple experience. It's so easy a zombie could do it. Don't shamble your way to the grocery store. Save all that time and avoid food waste with pre-portioned ingredients that give you exactly what you need. HelloFresh's recipes take about 30 minutes to make, with quick and easy options that get it down to 20. You can also customize your plan by doing low-cal, carb-smart, pescatarian, or vegetarian, for those of us who don't want to go on the zombie diet. All of these options feature fresh produce sourced directly from farmers, and are shipped in packaging that's almost entirely made from recyclable content. Go to HelloFresh.com and use my code 12DEADMEAT to get 12 free meals, including free shipping. That's HelloFresh.com, promo code 12DEADMEAT for 12 free meals with free shipping.
Nice.
Just a note, in case you missed the memo though, the sponsorship is because there's no version of this video that could get ads on it. But I still have to avoid age restrictions or else YouTube will punish my channel in the algorithm, a word that I hate saying. Because of that, the most intense score will still have to get blurred. I can't run afoul of YouTube's ever increasingly stringent guidelines. I'm really sorry, and I hate doing this, but I'm working under the constraints imposed upon me here. Blame Tom Savini for making such awesome gore. Here, I'll show you what I mean. Let's get to the kills. The movie begins in a sparse white room. Looks like it's the calendar room. Aw, we missed Halloween. Oh, month's over, lady. Better flip the page.
Oh shit.
Just kidding, zombies say it's Halloween forever! This opening was a nightmare of Dr. Sarah Bowman's, played by Lori Cardell, who hailed from Erie, Pennsylvania. And if that last name sounds familiar, it's because her dad was Chilly Billy Cardell, the real-life broadcaster who played a reporter in Night of the Living Dead. Romero cast Lori after seeing her in a play, and she gives the best performance of the film.
Wow, look at them back in the day.
Sarah's on a search mission for other human survivors with a soldier named Miguel, a radio operator named McDermott, and a cautious helicopter pilot named John.
I'll set us down, but I won't leave my seat and I'll keep the engine running.
They go in for a landing at Fort Myers.
So the guy played
Take
John
a
Love,
city
man,
around
familiar.
with the film's Floridian setting buttressed by a Caribbean-inspired score. The music in Romero's original trilogy is so interesting to me. Night has those dramatic cues, sometimes gothic, sometimes sci-fi, all chosen by Romero from the High Q library. Dawn of the Dead had goblin-making music for it, but many of us are only familiar with the American theatrical cut, which replaced a lot of those songs with more stock music.
Terry Alexander.
This time chosen by Romero from the DeWolf library.
Where he
Those
from?
tracks are peculiar, to say the least, and are understandably
They've been on a lot of
divisive, even
stuff.
though I enjoy them. For Day, Romero had a composer in John Harrison, who was actually just on the kill count. Dude played Screwdriver Zombie in Dawn. He also scored Creepshow, directed a miniseries version of Dune, and wait, what the fuck? Wrote Disney's Dinosaur? What was this guy's life? Anyway, his score is completely original and cohesive, a first for a film in this series. Personally, I love it, but again, not everyone was a fan.
I didn't realize that there were people that absolutely hated it. I would have killed them if I had.
The barn lands and Sarah heads through desolation with Miguel, who looks for people while singing M1A1 by Gorillaz. Doesn't seem like anyone is here though, besides this gator trying to open a checking account. He must want to keep all this free money safe from bastard skellies. A newspaper screams that there is one more thing they'll find here. Well, actually, I'm sorry, two. The living dead and a title car. Also, there's a dead body in the street, and I've got to count it, because that's my job. These zombies look much more consistent and, good than the blue-faced zombies from Dawn. They also make noise now.
You can hear it over the engine.
Jesus, man. Joseph.
The best zombie of the sequence is that title card zombie,
Ugh.
nicknamed Dr. Tongue. He's actually a glorified hand puppet made from a
Oh,
foam
okay.
sculpture of Tom Savini. His jawless state came about because of an accident with a drill. I never would have guessed this thing was a puppet. Those animatronic eyes are incredible. With nothing but Zeds around, the survivors fly back into the Everglades to their fenced-in encampment. This little bit of safety's not enough to soothe Miguel, who's about to fall apart because of the way they have to live.
We're all collapsing. This whole fucking unit is collapsing, everybody except you. I know you're strong, all right. So what?
Anthony DeLeo Jr. gives a soapy, histrionic performance as Miguel, and since he worked method, he had to keep himself away from the jovial camaraderie on set. Bummer. In this post-dawn world, the only living humans around are the 12 people living in this underground outpost. 3 are scientists, including Sarah, 2 are support crew, Pilot John and Radio Op McDermott, and the other 7 are all military, including Miguel and these 2 assholes, Steele and Rickles. The underground base they live in is the perfect setting for this movie's darker tone, though it can feel jarring and claustrophobic after the skylit mall and open fields of Dawn. Just as with Dawn, Romero wrote his script with a specific location in mind, this limestone mine in Wampum, Pennsylvania, about 40 minutes north of Pittsburgh. Production spent 3 months filming in this mine, which also functioned as a bomb shelter and a storage facility.
They store multiple records from Washington, D.C., government records. They store government-bought cheese, surplus cheese.
It's a memorable backdrop, but filming there came with plenty of issues. They had to watch out for hibernating bats, figure out how to light these giant caverns, and fix their film equipment when it got jammed up with mine dust. Worst of all was the effect it had on the cast and crew.
It was a very nasty and depressing place to be.
B12 injections were given to compensate for the lack of sunlight, but there was no getting around all that dust, and plenty of people got sick.
What is this black stuff that usually is all over you, but now it's like all over inside of you too?
In these dank tunnels, the survivors keep a corral of the living dead to serve as test subjects for Sarah and her scientist peers. They're trying to find a solution to the pandemic, and this military unit has been assigned to protect and assist them. That means retrieving test subjects when they need them, a dangerous task that Steele forces an exhausted Miguel to help with. Miguel loses control of the Zed, which nearly gets Rickles bit, and Steele responds by screaming racial slurs and threatening to feed Miguel to a zombie. That's about when Sarah's had enough.
Let him go! God damn it!
Oh.
Cut you in half.
Fine, I'll let him go. Let him go right into these boxes! They get the zombies under control, but Miguel is still kinda slap happy. Or just slappy. Stop! To calm him down, Sarah tells him to look at the zombie rabbits and sticks a needle in his shoulder. Drugs? Yeah, Miguel, drugs. Take a nap now, little buddy. The leader of the military unit is Captain Rhodes, a scary motherfucker who just took command today. The previous leader, Major Cooper, died last night. With his new promotion, Rhodes is looking to shake things up, and he tells Sarah and her science pals that they're on notice.
I'm not even sure just what the hell it is you're doing in there. Just what the hell it is my men are risking their asses for.
Rhodes is played by the late Joseph Pilato in an iconic over-the-top performance.
They were saying I was over the top. I say no. I said, this is the point of view. It was like, this is fucking stupid. Kill him.
Like many of his fellow cast members, Pilato was a stage actor, which may explain why some of them seem like they're playing to the back of the room. Pilato's first film role was actually in Dawn of the Dead, so he can barely be seen in the theatrical version. Most of his stuff was cut and can only be found in the extended version. Rhodes sexually threatens Sarah and schedules a mandatory meeting for that night. And if it's one thing Sarah hates, it's mandatory meetings.
Yes, sir! Fuck you, sir!
Damn, Sarah. We've come a long way from Barbara. Sarah takes a visit to Frankenstein's lab, their nickname for the operating room of fellow scientist Dr. Logan. Logan's played with a bright-eyed mania by Richard Liberty, who had previously been in Romero's The Crazies. He's performing gnarly experiments in an effort to learn about Zed behavior.
It wants me. It wants food, but it has no stomach. It can take no nourishment from what it ingests. It's working on instinct.
His latest subject is this cadaver that I think looks like a Mars Attack Martian without a helmet. Tom Savini had a different nickname for it.
I think that was called Moose Clit.
Because it looked like a big moose clit, you know. You might put some beeps in there.
This obscenely named corpse was played by a dude named Barry Gress, so he could raise its arms in the air on cue. Poor guy had to bend his head backwards through a hole in that thing. Quite the uncomfortable role. Dr. Logan has been spending his time gathering basic research, while Sarah wants something a bit more applied.
You're wasting time trying to define what's happening instead of looking for what's making it happen.
She doesn't buy his theory of learning how to control the zombies, especially not if he's secretly using military bodies for research. Turns out this unfortunate brainstem is Major Cooper, and since he's been talked about enough, we saw his grave, and we've got his body here, mostly. I'll put him on the count, along with 2 other bodies that are no longer living or undead thanks to Logan. Avoiding the count so far was this zombie with detached organs, but since he's having a hard time keeping his viscera inside of him, Dr. Logan casually anesthetizes him with a bloody drill bit to the brain. At Rhodes' mandatory meeting, radio op Bill McDermott says he can't get a hold of other people, and it's not because he's too drunk to use the radio properly. It's because society doesn't exist anymore.
Now, the power's off in the mainland now, in case you haven't heard, and all the shopping malls are closed.
In other words, the world of Dawn of the Dead is no more.
Wow.
With the soldiers acting fools, Sarah tries to leave the meeting, which is when she learns of Captain Rhodes' severe attendance policy.
Steele, shoot that woman.
Ooh.
You're dead.
Nah, Chucklefucks, ain't you heard me before? I told you, Captain Rhodes is a scary motherfucker. Things nearly boil over, with John standing up for Sarah until she returns to her seat so Rhodes' manliness can stay secure. He yells that this is a war, but the third scientist, Dr. Fisher, reminds him that the soldiers are there to protect them, so try to be less of a dick about it, huh? Fisher's played by John Amplis, a Romero regular. He was the title role in Martin, and, damn it, George, he's the guy you stuck in brownface in Dawn. Dr. Logan shows up late to the meeting and tells Rhodes his feeble pea shooters are useless now.
They have overrun us, you know. We're in the minority now. Something like 400,000 to 1 by my calculations.
Logan boasts that his behavioral studies will be more useful sooner than Sarah's research to solve the pandemic. But Rhodes doesn't care about either of their approaches. He's on the verge of disbanding this entire operation. A lot of Day's earlier scenes are people yelling at each other, which is one of the slight dings I have against the film. Rhodes reestablishes a tenuous control, but things are clearly about to fall apart. If only everyone believed in cooperation like Sarah.
Maybe if we tried working together, we could ease some of the tensions. We're all pulling in different directions.
Well, that's the trouble with the world, Sarah darling. People got different ideas concerning what they want out of life.
Obviously not the most subtle of dialogue, but Romero really wanted to make this movie about the loss of community and the disintegration of trust in institutions and the government. He figured those themes worked perfectly in a zombie movie.
Human beings tend to devour each other instead of giving each other a kind of helping hand. They would rather eat each other up.
Sarah takes a snooze, reminding me strongly of Fran in Dawn, and has a nightmare of Miguel's guts spilling out onto the floor. But wake up, Sarah. Miguel's just fine. Well, I mean, he is Miguel, so not exactly fine, but... Oh, come on now. Don't take that so personally, Miguel. Fine, be a big baby. Stressed out, Sarah takes a drink and a walk with McDermott, who takes her deep through the tunnels to where he and John live, the Ritz. This is where the two of them come to get away from the clamoring soldiers and scientists. And it's here where we get the film's best scene, even though, like most of Act 1, it's a lot of back and forth philosophical dialogue.
We don't believe in what you're doing here, Sarah.
John's not talking about Sarah's drinking. He is friends with McDermott, after all. He's saying the entire concepts of science and history are pointless now.
What does it matter, Sarah darling? All this filing and record keeping. We ever gonna give a shit?
Sarah objects, but without a strong argument.
I'm doing. That's all there's left to do.
And John rebuts that they can get out of there and go make babies. John, was this whole spiel a pickup line? No, it's John's sincere beliefs. He says that God's cursed them with hell on earth, a punishment for the arrogance of man.
We was getting too big for our britches. Trying to figure his shit out.
The reason this scene works so well is the acting. Like Laurie Cardell, Terry Alexander, and Jarlath Conroy were both stage trained. That's probably why Alexander handles these long monologues so deftly, even when he's doing them in a West Indies accent that wasn't his own.
I have to do this all the time for the people. They don't believe it's me in the movie.
On the subject of the arrogance of man, Dr. Logan's convinced he can train a zombie. He says they're simply less perfect humans, and that their behaviors can be conditioned with punishments and rewards.
Think about it. Think.
Really? Think about it, really?
Hell yeah, the gong callback! Logan's star pupil is Bub, to whom he gives a brain-busting object recognition test using a copy of Salem's Lot by Stephen King. During the test, Bub remembers how to use a razor, or, generally, and even seems to recognize that at one point he knew how to read. Best of all, Bub is chill as fuck, and never tries to turn Logan into brain food. Bub was originally a much smaller character until actor Howard Sherman got on set and started killing it. Romero expanded the role and developed Bub's mannerisms with Sherman, who played the zombie as an infant with undeveloped hand-eye coordination. Bub's zombie makeup was done by the late John Bulick, who had worked under Savini for Friday 4, the final chapter. Bulick was inspired by the Nazi zombie makeup in Shockwave, as well as Savini's makeup for Zombie Roger in Dawn of the Dead. He used the same tissue paper technique to have a sort of makeup continuity between the films. Captain Rhodes arrives, which is always the worst sentence to have to say, and Logan tries to show off his progress by getting Bub to speak, kind of. But neither Bub's eloquence nor his respect for service members is enough to impress Rhodes, who calls him a walking pile of pus. Since Logan wants to continue rewarding Bub for his behavior, he gives his student an unloaded gun to see what he does with it. Right then, Bub will be leaving. We get another argument over the value of science and civics, and another zombie farm rodeo with an exhausted Miguel. And who'd have guessed it, shit goes south yet again. A zombie attacks a soldier named Miller, who shoots off his gun, hits and kills fellow soldier Private Johnson.
Damn.
Johnson was played by a 21-year-old Greg Nicotero, who's now one of the biggest names in special makeup effects, and whose son, I think, watches this show. What up, Devin? Though his on-screen appearance is minor, Day of the Dead was huge for Nicotero.
Wow, okay.
Not only was he doing makeup under Tom Savini, but it was here that he met fellow makeup artist Howard Berger, who shows up later as a cave zombie. Berger and Nicotero would join with Robert Kurtzman to found K&B Effects in 1988, and since then, they've done effects for freaking countless horror.
Nice.
And it all started with this film in 1985.
Wow.
Sarah shoots the zombie that bit Miller, and after another zombie breaks loose and bites a huge chunk out of Miguel, Steele puts an end to that rebellious Zed as well. Sarah chases after a fleeing Miguel, while Steele is left with the dying Private Miller. At his friend's request, Steele shoots Miller in the head, because you know what they say, better dead than Zed. Miguel runs to the Ritz, where John and a big rock helps Sarah knock him out. Using John's machete, she performs an emergency amputation of Miguel's bitten arm. This is the first time in Romero's movies where someone tries to stop a zombie infection via amputation. For the effect, Savini had DeLeo stick his real arm out of a hole so he could wiggle his fingers around during the amputation. After cauterizing the wound, they put Miguel up in the Ritz, not as nice as it sounds, and John agrees to watch over him as Sarah and McDermott go get medical supplies. Good use of color in Frankenstein's lab, although this one specimen looks like it'd be at a photo op at a Roswell gas station. I'm not too big a fan of the experiment they find out. Looks Bishop-esque from Alien 3, only that was supposed to be an android. This head is supposed to be a reanimated Private Miller. It's an experiment signaling that Logan's gone mad, as if this tape recorder of generic crazy talk wasn't evidence enough.
I put it away, Mother, I put it away.
Why would he have recorded that? They see Dr. Logan go to check on Bub, who's living his undead life like any 80s teen in America. If 80s American teens listen to Ode to Joy, that is.
It's a her.
Logan is proud of his zombie boy's taste in music, so he rewards him with fresh meat. Real fresh meat. Rhodes shows up and demands to know where it came from, and the answer's not surprising. It's greasy, grimy soldier guts. And if you thought Rhodes was strict about attendance, that is nothing compared to his punishment for improper body disposal. Captain Rhodes ruthlessly guns down Dr. Logan right there. Just like that, there is no remaining semblance of civility here. The soldiers confiscate the civilians as guns, and Rhodes grabs at Sarah's face and gives her the crazy eye, just like Steve Zissou after Esteban died. John hears conflict coming and leaves Miguel to step outside, where he finds his friends held at gunpoint. He disarms himself to prevent any further violence, though he does bristle at Rhodes' plan of flying away without the other civilians.
Me, my men, you, that's it. You'll never get me to do that, Rhodes.
Oh no!
I barely knew Dr. Fisher's
That's
name,
fucked
but that
up.
was cold-blooded as
That's
hell.
fucked
The soldiers
up.
stick Sarah and McDermott in the zombie corral, and when John tries to protest, Rhodes orders him beaten by Steele. Can't kill him, since they need him to fly the chopper, but that doesn't mean he can't get movie punched and thrown around, you know? The beating is interrupted when they hear the elevator running, because Miguel has snuck off and is going up top. As the soldiers go to see what's happening, Sarah and McDermott decide that their best chance of survival is outrunning the undead in the tunnels. This underground adventure feels a bit like a haunted house, though it does yield an awesome moment when McDermott half decaps his head with a shovel. This effect was Savini's way of outdoing himself. He wanted a better version of the machete kill he did in Dawn, which used a cutout weapon and
That's why he was on Dawn.
reverse. Same concepts applied here, but, you know, is better. Much better. Doesn't go on the count, though, because that brain is clearly still alive. Here, have a consolation kill, because Sarah bashes this zombie with a wooden board hard enough to count. John manages to free himself from Rhodes and his soldiers, but after knocking them out, he only disarms them. He doesn't kill them, because killing is distasteful. Now armed, he runs into the tunnels to save Sarah and McDermott. He kills 4 zombies on the way by shooting them in the head, with one of them played by Howard Berger, like I mentioned earlier. I'll also count this zombie that McDermott thwacks with a shovel, because I like his little flip and how McDermott kind of barks at him. Steele and Rickles get to the elevator and find the controls inoperable. Saboteur! A one-armed saboteur, Miguel, who also sabotages the gates outside the compound. And by sabotage, I mean opens. He leads his new zombie friends back to the elevator, and after throwing one up for the big man, lets them feast on it as he presses the button to descend. Damn it, Miguel, we never got to learn if that amputation worked. You're ruining science. He's also ruining the bunker, as Rhodes and his men watch a metric fuck ton of zombies lowered into it. They are eager to explore. That one's a little too eager. Wait, is that Jim Carrey's The Mask? Yeah. Rhodes gets away on the world's slowest betrayal machine, leaving his men behind to deal with the eclectic as usual group of zombies. All right, what do we got in this one, George? A football player?
Oh,
okay,
time out. My thing was freezing. We gotta go back because I was saying
betrayal machine, leaving his
it's
men
looking like
behind to deal with
Thriller.
the eclectic as usual group of zombies. All
Like
right,
Thriller-
what do we got
look
in
like
this
Thriller.
one, George? A football player? Okay. A bride? An army guy? Nice. That one's got a cigar. It looks like Eric Wareheim playing a casino manager. As Rhodes gets back to the compound and locks the door behind him, his men try and fail to avoid the living dead. This last grunt I haven't mentioned, Private Torres,
got
is
him.
played by Tom Savini's friend and this film's stunt coordinator, Tasso Stavrakis, who also played Sledge the Biker in Dawn of the Dead. Much like in that movie, Tasso's character is torn apart by zombies. His kill is accompanied by a horrific shriek that grows higher pitched as his vocal cords are stretched.
Yep.
Surprisingly, Savini said he didn't love this kill. He thought there were too many zombie hands blocking the effect. Rickles runs through the tunnels and quickly falls victim too. He's only able to kill a single Zed with a headshot. So they get him to the ground and whoa, tear his eye out and bite off his fingers. Damn! I love how much this movie improves upon the already respectable gore from Dawn. Savini has called it his masterpiece, which is the highest praise a horror movie's effects could ever have. The last and largest of the grunts, Private Steele, shoots 2 zombies in the head as he runs back to the compound. I won't be counting any of the Zeds he sprays across the torso, but I don't need to. He's already doing way better than his friends. When Steele finds himself locked out of the compound, he uses a skeleton key to get inside, which also lets in the zombies.
Oh,
All
shit.
of the zombies. Seriously, that is a ton of zombies.
Damn.
Oh, and one of them's a clown.
Oh, wow.
Inside the compound, Bub accidentally frees himself while licking his plate clean of grunt guts. When he finds Dr. Logan's corpse, he experiences a fit of anguish and eyes a nearby gun as a means for revenge. Bub comes out to the hall and uses his gun to shoot at Steele. He misses, and Steele's about to drop Bub's head to a nub, but he's interrupted by a
Got
zombie
him.
attack, causing him to say wubba lubba dub dub. Steele is bitten, but makes sure to kill 4 more zombies still, including a couple of lady zombies and one that looks pulled straight out of Creepshow. With that, Steele does a sign of the cross, a suggestion by his actor, Gary Clark, then shoots himself in the head to avoid a painful zombie death. It'll also prevent him from coming back, meaning these Zeds just got themselves a hearty meal. Speaking of Creepshow, when John reaches Sarah and McDermott and they have a zombie-killing shootout, it veers into a pretty comic booky style. I guess George was still riding that wave. The 3 survivors reach the bunker's ladder and get 2 more kills as they climb. One lady whose head, oozes water, ew, and a guy zombie who tries to get John but is killed by McDermott. With that, they're able to ascend in a lovely swinging low-angle long shot. Bub finds Rhodes Rhodes and opens fire, getting the captain once in the shoulder and then again in the leg. It slows Rhodes down, and when he tries to escape through a door, he's shocked to find a bunch of zombies and their zombie hands. Bub ensures that Rhodes is in no condition to retreat and salutes him with an unspoken but heavily implied "fuck you." Captain Rhodes is overwhelmed and torn apart in a classic kill. It's an all-timer, not only because he's ripped in half and his lower body's dragged away, but also because of his defiant last words. The filming of Rhodes' death was just as gnarly as it appears on screen. During their week-long shoot in Florida, when they filmed the above-ground stuff, someone unplugged the fridge that held the 5 gallons of pig guts used for all the gore. With no time to get new supplies, Joseph Pilato had to endure a 4-hour shoot with rotting viscera right under his nose. There is so much behind-the-scenes footage of him retching and the zombie actors trying to fan the stench away. There was no avoiding it.
To this day, I can still
smell it.
Sarah,
Oh,
John,
Lord.
and McDermott make their way outside and run to the helicopter, hoping to beat the Zeds there. Quick, y'all, you're almost there. And that's how you skip writing an ending if you want to. Because that scare was just a dream, probably, and Sarah wakes up safe on an island. John and McDermott are there too, living all kinds of irony, because something has started today. Where did it go? What you want it to be? Well, you know, November has come, and this movie has gone away. How many kills can an underground bunker even fit inside? Let's find out and get to the numbers.
Here we go.
Zombies, 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 zombies.
The Triple H intro.
I counted 35 deaths in Day of the Dead, with the victims consisting of 10 living men, 18 zombie men, 6 zombie women, and 1 unknown body in the streets of Fort Myers. No living lady deaths, since Sarah was the only one running around, and with a runtime of 101 minutes, that left us with a kill on average every 2.89 minutes.
Here we go.
I'll give the golden chainsaw for coolest kill to Rhodes, though I will say this wasn't a given. Tasso Stavrakis' death was gnarly, as were a few others for various reasons. But the choke on it line is what won me over in the end. It's literally the only cool thing Captain Rhodes ever did. Dull Machete for lamest kill will go to the sun-dried corpse I counted in the beginning. Is that cheating? Probably. And coolest corpse award for my favorite zombie goes to Bub. Kinda hard to beat a Zed who appreciates Beethoven and Stephen King. Like, Dr. Tongue was cool and all, but did he ever use a gun to shoot Captain Rhodes? I don't think so. Bub, I salute you. And that's it. Day of the Dead came out in 1985, but thanks to a limited release, undercooked marketing, and confusion with the same year's Return of the Living Dead, it severely underperformed at the box office. Add in the lackluster reviews, and you've got one sad situation for the cast and crew.
They couldn't stand it. They loved Dawn of the Dead. So it just came and went.
As an actor, I was hoping this is my biggest role out here on film, and maybe somebody might recognize that I was talented and give me something else. Didn't happen.
Romero was especially deflated, as this was his favorite of the trilogy, and he wouldn't revisit the series until nearly 20 years later with Land of the Dead. I'll check out his second trilogy sometime eventually, as well as the remakes of these first 3 films. But next week, we've got different zombies to count, those on a train to Busan. Until then, I'm James A. Janice. This has been The Kill Count.
On the next Kill Count.
In 2014, we saw Jason Voorhees go to
Oh yeah,
high
this
school
is for
with love of
the
his-
this is for the well, I already saw social Mayokas too. So anyway, yes, this was good. This was good right here. This was good. I always like I'm freezing up. Yeah. Always like James commentaries better than when it comes to kill counts. That's why if I already watched it on like carnage count or body count, I'll watch. I have no problem watching it on with Dead Meat with James A. Denise though. Cause the commentary, he breaks down the movies, everything. This was good. So yeah, other than that, so like I said, since it was a 3-rate tie of the lowest, Midsommar will get a bypass and will be up as a next kill count. Not too soon though, but in between I might depends. I still owe to do the winner, the top rank Nightmare on Street movie as well too. Oh, before that, I gotta finish up Wrong Turn series with a reboot. So I won't put no polls up yet, but once I get done, Wrong Turn to Nightmare on Street, or Midsummer, which one I end up doing, I will put the new poll. I will put the poll up for the elimination poll, and then the winner of that one will be the one I react to. The losers will be officially pushed aside to our next elimination poll. Since there's only 5 poll, I'm gonna put Alive and Mayhem together, since they were gonna be the replacement for Train to Busan if Trey Busan would made it. So after I start freezing. If you like my reaction, like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's your boy T-Bird signing off. One love.